A lion is walking across the savanna. Ahead of it, there is a baby zebra. The lion slows down. It watches. And then, in a significant number of documented cases, it does not attack. Not because it isn't hungry, not because the zebra is protected, but because something in the lion's brain is responding to the baby zebra differently than it responds to an adult. This happens across species lines, predators hesitating around juveniles of prey species, adult animals of completely unrelated species showing protective behavior toward the young of others, dogs that have never seen a human baby before becoming suddenly gentle and watchful the moment one enters the room. The question is, what is actually happening in those moments? Is it recognition? Is it instinct? Is it something that looks like what we would call tenderness if we saw it in a human? The answer changes how you understand every animal you have ever seen. Stay with me. Let's start with what a baby actually is from a biological signal perspective. Because a baby is not just a small version of an adult, a baby is a broadcasting station. It is constantly transmitting a specific set of signals that evolution has been refining for millions of years. Signals specifically designed to produce a response in the animals that receive them. We already covered this in a previous video. Konrad Lorenz identified in 1943 what he called Kindchen schema, baby schema, the set of physical features that trigger caregiving responses. Round face, large eyes relative to the head, small nose, soft features, short limbs, clumsy movement. These features evolved in infant mammals to activate protective and nurturing behavior in adults of the same species. But here is what Lorenz noticed, and what researchers have been confirming ever since. The system is not species specific. The trigger fires across species lines. A round face with large eyes activates the same neural circuits, whether it belongs to a human infant, a lion cub, a baby deer, or a cartoon character that has never existed anywhere in nature. The brain does not ask what species this is before responding. It reads the features and it responds. This means when a predator encounters a juvenile of a prey species, it is not just seeing a small meal. It is receiving a complex set of signals that are actively working against its predatory response. The baby is not just small, it is broadcasting. And what it is broadcasting is recognized across the animal kingdom in ways that are still being mapped. Now let's look at the evidence, because it is stranger and more documented than most people realize. Cats and dogs raised together show clear differential responses to kittens and puppies, including the puppies and kittens of the other species. A dog that would chase an adult cat will frequently approach a kitten with caution, lowered posture, and investigative behavior rather than predatory behavior. The kitten's proportions are triggering a different response than the cat's proportions trigger. Male lions, which are known to kill cubs from rival males to bring females back into reproductive readiness, show dramatically reduced aggression toward cubs below a certain age and size threshold. The infantile features appear to provide a window of protection that shrinks as the cub grows and the features become less pronounced. Elephants, which show extraordinary social intelligence, have been documented responding to the distress calls of other species' infants, not just their own calves. Infant vocalizations from other animals appear to activate something in elephant social cognition that crosses species lines. Dolphins have been documented supporting and guiding the young of other species near them in the water, behavior that serves no obvious survival function for the dolphin, but appears driven by something in how they respond to juvenile signals. But perhaps the most striking evidence comes from a set of experiments that seems almost too clean to be real. Researchers showed adult rats images, yes, images, of infant faces from multiple species. The rat's behavior changed in response to the infant images compared to adult images, not dramatically, not conclusively by itself, but measurably. The infant face signal was crossing not just species lines, but the boundary between a real living animal and a static image, which means the trigger is responding to the pattern, not to the animal itself. This is exactly what you would expect from a system that evolved as a fast automatic response. Fast automatic responses don't do careful verification. They read patterns and they fire. And now here is the piece that connects everything. Why would this system exist across species at all? If baby schema evolved to trigger caregiving within a species to make adult animals protect and nurture their own young, why does it fire across species lines? The most compelling explanation is that the cross-species response is not a design feature. It is an overflow. The system evolved to be fast and reliable. The cost of not responding to your own infant is catastrophic. The infant dies. The cost of accidentally responding to another species' infant is low. You waste a little protective energy on something that isn't yours. When evolution is optimizing for a fast, reliable trigger with catastrophic catastrophic consequences for false negatives, it builds the trigger sensitive. Sensitive triggers produce false positives, and a false positive in this system means you act protectively toward a baby that isn't yours. Across enough time and enough encounters, the overflow of the system became its own kind of relationship. Animals that regularly encountered the young of other species and responded protectively to them may have formed the early foundations of interspecies tolerance. Some researchers now believe that this overflow, this accidental extension of the infant recognition system across species lines, may have been one of the biological mechanisms that made the domestication of animals possible in the first place. Dogs did not become dogs because ancient humans decided to adopt wolves. They became dogs partly because the juvenile features that wolf cubs display activated human caregiving responses, and humans activated responses in wolves because human children displayed similar signals. Two species, both broadcasting baby signals, both accidentally triggering each other's caregiving systems. And 40,000 years later, you have a golden retriever who becomes worried when you don't come home on time. The system that started it all, the automatic recognition of infant signals across species lines, is still running in you right now. Every time you look at a baby animal and feel something shift in your chest, that is not sentimentality. That is one of the oldest and most reliable programs in the mammalian brain, doing exactly what it was built to do. If you want to know, you know what to do.